Whispers in the wheat. The combined harvester's rhythmic rumble filled the Kansas night as Amelia Thorne guided the massive machine through endless rows of golden wheat. At 28, she was the youngest farm owner in Hartland County, and nights like these reminded her why she loved it. The vast, star-filled sky above, the gentle rustle of grain, a blinding flash lit up the horizon. Amelia slammed on the brakes, her heart pounding. That was no lightning strike. As the light faded, a faint trail of smoke arced across the sky, ending somewhere in Old Man Miller's South Field. "What in tarnation?" she muttered, killing the combine's engine. The sudden silence was eerie. Curiosity warred with caution as Amelia climbed down from the cab. Whatever that was, it wasn't natural, and it had landed on her neighbor's property. She should call the sheriff, but something tugged at her, an inexplicable urge to investigate. Damn it, Thorne, she chided herself, already jogging towards Miller's Field. This is how folks die in horror movies. The trek through the wheat took longer than expected. By the time Amelia reached the impact site, her legs ached and her lungs burned. But all discomfort vanished when she saw what lay before her. A crater, maybe 20 feet across, smoldered in the flattened wheat. At its center sat something, not a meteor, not a satellite. It was too sleek, too purposeful in its design. Its surface shimmered with an opalescent sheen that seemed to drink in the starlight. An alien craft. There was no other explanation. Amelia's mind reeled. First contact. Here, in a wheat field in Kansas. As if responding to her thoughts, a seam appeared in the craft's smooth surface. With a soft hiss, a hatch opened. Amelia stumbled back, her heart thundering. She should run. She should definitely run. But her feet remained rooted to the spot as a figure emerged from the craft. She, was small, no taller than a human child, but there was nothing childlike about the being's appearance. Iridescent scales covered its body, shimmering in hues of blue and green. Large, multifaceted eyes blinked in the darkness, and delicate antennae twitched atop its head. The alien took a hesitant step forward, then collapsed. Without thinking, Amelia rushed to its side. Up close, she could see the alien was injured. A viscous, silvery fluid oozed from a gash in its side. The being's eyes locked onto Amelia's, filled with fear and something else. Desperation. A series of clicks and whistles emanated from its mouth, or what Amelia assumed was its mouth. "I don't understand," Amelia said, her voice shaking. "But you're hurt. Let me help." As she reached out, the alien flinched. But when Amelia's hand gently touched its shoulder, a jolt ran through her. Images flooded her mind. A distant world, a laboratory, beings that looked similar to the one before her, but also drastically different. Fear, pain, escape. Amelia gasped, pulling her hand back. "You're running from something." The alien nodded, a surprisingly human gesture. A distant rumble made them both look up. Lights appeared on the horizon, vehicles approaching fast. The alien chittered in panic, trying to stand but faltering. Hey, it's okay," Amelia soothed, though her own heart raced. Whoever was coming, they couldn't be friendly. Not with that speed and numbers. "I've got you." Decision made, Amelia scooped the alien into her arms. It weighed no more than a large dog, its scales cool and smooth against her skin. "Hold on," she whispered, turning to run back towards her farm. The alien wrapped its arms around Amelia's neck, burying its face against her shoulder. As they fled through the wheat, Amelia's mind whirled. What was she doing? Harboring an alien fugitive. This was insane. But she couldn't shake the images she'd seen, the emotions she felt. This being needed help. And for whatever reason, the universe had decided Amelia Thorne, wheat farmer from Kansas, was going to be the one to provide it. They reached the edge of Amelia's property just as the vehicles, black SUVs with tinted windows, screeched to a halt at the crash site. Flashlight beams swept the field, Almost there, Amelia panted, her legs burning. The alien trembled in her arms. Her farmhouse loomed ahead, a weathered two-story structure that had stood for generations. Amelia fumbled with her keys, acutely aware of the shouts now echoing across the field behind them. Inside, she quickly locked the door and drew the curtains. The alien looked around with wide, curious eyes as Amelia gently set it on the couch. "Okay," she said, running a hand through her sweat-dampened hair. "Okay, you're safe, for now." The reality of the situation began to sink in. She had an injured alien in her living room. Men in black were combing the fields outside, and she, Amelia Thorne, was now at the center of what could be the most important event in human history. A soft trill drew her attention back to her unexpected guest. The alien was looking at her with an expression that, despite its inhuman features, Amelia could only interpret as gratitude. "You're welcome," she said softly, "though I have no idea what I'm going to do next." As if in answer, her cell phone buzzed. The caller ID read Sheriff Cooper. Amelia took a deep breath. Whatever happened next, there was no going back. The wheat fields of Kansas had just become ground zero for humanity's first contact, and she was the only thing standing between a frightened alien refugee and those who would do it harm. "Well," she said to her alien guest, "I guess we're in this together now." The alien chittered softly, reaching out a six-fingered hand. After a moment's hesitation, Amelia took it. Once again, images flashed through her mind, but this time they weren't of fear or pain. Instead, she saw flashes of strange, beautiful worlds, of beings of all shapes and sizes living in harmony, of a future filled with wonder and possibility. A future that somehow she was now responsible for protecting. The phone kept buzzing. Outside, engines rumbled as more vehicles approached. Amelia squared her shoulders. "All right, little one, let's change the world." As she answered the phone, neither Amelia nor her alien guest could have imagined the cosmic wheels they had just set in motion. In a quiet farmhouse in Kansas, the fate of two species, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. And it all started with one human's choice to show kindness to a stranger from the stars, echoes of the cosmos. The old pickup truck rattled down the dusty backroads of Hartland County, its headlights cutting through the pre-dawn gloom. Behind the wheel, Sheriff Matt Cooper's weathered face was set in a grim expression. In the passenger seat, Dr. Eliza Chen clutched her medical bag, her eyes wide with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. "You're sure about this, Amelia?" Max spoke into his cell phone, voice gruff with concern. "An honest-to-God alien?" "I know how it sounds, Sheriff." Amelia's voice crackled through the speaker. "But you've got to see this for yourself. And hurry. Those men in black SUVs are getting closer." As Mac ended the call, Eliza leaned forward. "This is unprecedented, Sheriff. If what Amelia says is true, we're on the cusp of the greatest discovery in human history." Mac grunted. "Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Doc. For all we know, this could be some elaborate hoax. Or worse, a genuine threat." They pulled up to the Thorne farmhouse just as the first rays of sunlight peeked over the horizon. Amelia met them at the door, her face pale but determined. "Thanks for coming," she said, ushering them inside, "and for not bringing the whole cavalry." "Don't thank me yet," Mac replied. "Now, where's this alien of yours?" Amelia led them to the living room, where the alien sat huddled on the couch, wrapped in a quilt. Its iridescent scales shimmered in the soft lamplight, and its multifaceted eyes darted nervously between the newcomers. Mac's hand instinctively went to his holstered pistol. Eliza gasped, her scientific mind already racing with questions. "Easy," Amelia said, stepping between them and the alien. "She's scared and hurt. We need to help her." "She?" Mac raised an eyebrow. Amelia shrugged. "Just a feeling." Eliza approached slowly, her medical training kicking in. "Hello," she said softly. "I'm a doctor. Can I examine you?" The alien chittered, then slowly extended a six-fingered hand. As Eliza took it, her eyes widened. "Oh my," she breathed. "I can see things. Images." "Yeah, it does that." Amelia nodded. "Some kind of telepathic communication, I think." Mac watched, torn between fascination and caution. "What kind of images?" Eliza's brow furrowed in concentration. "A laboratory. Other aliens, but different. They're experimenting on her, creating hybrids, and now they're chasing her. She's a fugitive." The alien trilled softly, a sound that somehow conveyed both affirmation and sadness. "So, not just first contact," Mac mused, "but first contact with an alien refugee. Well, ain't that just peachy?" A loud bang on the front door made them all jump. "This is Agent Blake, United States government. Open up." "Crap," Amelia hissed. "They found us." Max straightened his uniform. "All right, let me handle this. You two, take our guest upstairs. And Amelia, if things go south, there's a trapdoor in the back of your closet. Old bootlegger's tunnel. Might come in handy." As Amelia and Eliza hurried the alien upstairs, Mac opened the door to find himself face to face with a stern-looking man in a black suit, flanked by similarly dressed agents. "Sheriff Cooper," Agent Blake nodded curtly. "We have reason to believe an object of extreme national security importance has landed in this area. We'll need to search the premises." Mac crossed his arms. "Now hold on just a minute. This here's Heartland County jurisdiction. You boys can't just come barging in without." A piercing screech cut through the air, followed by a blinding flash of light from upstairs. Mac spun around, heart pounding. "Stand aside, Sheriff," Blake ordered, pushing past him. "This is no longer a local matter." As the agents swarmed into the house, Mac raced upstairs, taking the steps two at a time. He burst into Amelia's bedroom to find a scene of chaos. The alien was convulsing on the bed, its body glowing with an otherworldly light. Amelia and Eliza stood frozen, hands outstretched as if to help but unsure how. "What the hell is happening?" Mac demanded. Eliza shook her head, bewildered. "I don't know. It's like she's going through some kind of metamorphosis." The alien's form began to shift and change, its scales rippling like water. As the glow intensified, Mac was forced to shield his eyes. When the light finally faded, they all stared in shock at what lay before them. The alien had transformed. Gone were the insectoid features and iridescent scales. In their place was a being that looked almost human. Delicate, with pale blue skin and flowing, starlight-colored hair. Her eyes, when they fluttered open, were a swirling galaxy of colors. "By all that's holy," Mac breathed. The being sat up, looking at her new form with as much surprise as the humans. When she spoke, her voice was like chimes in the wind. "Thank you," she said in perfect English. "You've given me the chance to complete my evolution, to become what I was meant to be." Freeze, hands where we can see them. Agent Blake and his team burst into the room, weapons drawn. But as they took in the scene before them, even their trained composure faltered. The alien-turned humanoid stood, radiating an aura of calm authority. "There's no need for violence," she said. "I am Lyra, last of the Stellarians, and I've come to warn you. Earth is in terrible danger." For a moment, the room was frozen in a tableau of cosmic significance. Humans and alien, law enforcement and government agents, all caught in the gravitational pull of a moment that would change everything. Then Lyra smiled, a gesture both mysterious and warming. "But together," she said, "we might just save it." Outside, unnoticed by all, strange lights began to flicker in the pre-dawn sky. The wheat fields of Kansas rustled with more than just the morning breeze, and deep beneath the earth, in long-forgotten chambers, ancient machines hummed to life, awakened by the presence of a power not seen in millennia. The stage was set. Humanity's greatest adventure was about to begin. As the sun rose over Heartland County, casting golden light across the endless fields, none could have guessed that this unassuming patch of earth was about to become the focal point of a galactic drama. a drama that would test the limits of human courage, compassion, and ingenuity. For in saving Lyra, they had unknowingly taken the first step in saving themselves, and perhaps the entire cosmos. The wheat whispered with secrets, the stars trembled with anticipation, and in a farmhouse in Kansas, the future of two worlds hung in the balance. The cosmic dance had begun, and Earth, ready or not, was about to take center stage. Cosmic convergence. The Pentagon's war room burst with frantic energy. Screens flickered with satellite imagery, showing strange anomalies appearing worldwide. General Harriet Stormbreak, a battle-hardened veteran with salt and pepper hair, stood at the center of the chaos, her steely gaze fixed on the largest display. "Someone tell me what the hell I'm looking at," she demanded. A young analyst cleared his throat. "Ma'am, we're detecting massive energy surges. They started in Kansas, but they're spreading globally. And there's something else." He tapped a few keys, and the image zoomed out to show Earth from orbit. A shimmering, translucent dome was forming around the planet. "It's some kind of force field," the analyst explained. "But here's the kicker, it's not keeping us in, it's keeping something out." Before Stormbreak could respond, an aide rushed in. "General, the president is on the line, and you're going to want to see this." The main screen switched to a live feed from the White House lawn. There, surrounded by a mix of military personnel and civilians, stood an otherworldly being with blue skin and starlight hair. Beside her were a small-town sheriff, a doctor, and a young woman in farming clothes. "My fellow Americans," the president began, his voice tight with barely contained awe. "Today, we stand at the precipice of a new era. We are not alone in the universe, and we are in danger." As the president spoke, Lyra stepped forward. Her voice, melodious and clear, carried an undercurrent of urgency. "People of Earth," she said, "I am Lyra, last of the Stellarians. I came to your world fleeing persecution, but in doing so, I've brought a terrible threat to your doorstep. The Void Collective, an alliance of species bent on genetic purity, seeks to eradicate all hybrid life forms like myself. They view diversity as a cosmic aberration, a flaw to be corrected through genocide." Gasps and murmurs rippled through the war room. Stormbreak's jaw clenched. "Genocide, huh? Not on my watch." Lyra continued, "But there is hope. Hidden on your world are ancient artifacts left by my ancestors, the Cosmic Codex. If activated, it has the power to unite all sentient beings in understanding and empathy. It could end this war before it begins." The president nodded gravely. "We stand with Lyra and all those fleeing persecution. Earth will not bow to tyranny, be it terrestrial or cosmic. We call on all nations to unite in this hour of need." As if on cue, the war room erupted with incoming transmissions. China, Russia, the European Union, one by one, world leaders pledged their support. Stormbreak allowed herself a small smile. "Well, I'll be damned. Nothing like an alien invasion to bring folks together." Suddenly, alarms blared. The young analyst's face went pale. "General, we've got incoming. Massive fleet just appeared at the edge of our solar system. They're like nothing we've ever seen." The screen showed a swarm of biomechanical ships, each one a twisted fusion of organic matter and advanced technology. At their center was a behemoth that dwarfed aircraft carriers, its surface writhing with tentacles and pulsing with eerie light. "That's the Void Collective," Lyra's voice came through, tight with fear. "They're here." Stormbreak straightened her uniform. "All right, people, this is not a drill. We are now at war with an alien armada hell-bent on wiping out a refugee on our soil. And by God, we're going to give them a fight they'll never forget." As orders flew and the world's militaries mobilized, Amelia Thorne found herself in the heart of the storm. Standing on the White House lawn, surrounded by the most powerful people on the planet, she couldn't help but think of the wheat fields back home. "Lyra," she said softly, "those artifacts you mentioned. Any chance one of them is in Kansas?" The Stellarian's eyes widened. Yes, yes, the resonance I felt when I landed. Amelia, you're brilliant. The president turned to them. What's this about Kansas? Sir, Amelia said, drawing on a courage she never knew she had. I think we might have a secret weapon buried in my backyard. As if in response, the ground began to tremble. Back in Heartland County, in the very field where Lyra's ship had crashed, the earth split open. A pillar of light shot into the sky, punching through the protective dome and reaching towards the stars. In the war room, on screens across the globe, and in the ships of the approaching Void Collective, all eyes turned to this beacon of hope. The cosmic chess game had begun. Humanity, armed with little more than courage and a newfound alien ally, was about to face its greatest test. The wheat fields of Kansas had become the unlikely battleground for the fate of the galaxy. And at the center of it all stood Amelia Thorne, a simple farmer who had chosen compassion over fear. As she looked up at the pillar of light rising from her home, she realized that sometimes the most ordinary places hide the most extraordinary secrets. The Void Collective's ships entered the atmosphere, their ominous forms blotting out the sun. But on the ground, humanity stood united, ready to fight not just for their own survival, but for the very idea of cosmic diversity. Lyra's hand found Amelia's, their fingers intertwining, human and alien, joined in common cause. Together, Lyra whispered. Amelia nodded, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. Together. As the first shots of an interstellar war lit up the sky, the unlikely heroes from Heartland County prepared to embark on a quest to uncover the cosmic codex. The fate of 2 worlds and countless others hung in the balance. The wheat whispered ancient secrets. The stars trembled with the weight of destiny. And in the heart of America's heartland, a cosmic drama was about to unfold that would reshape the very fabric of the universe. The battle for Earth and the soul of the cosmos had begun. Quantum harvest. The Kansas wheat fields, once a sea of golden tranquility, now pulsed with otherworldly energy. The pillar of light that had erupted from Amelia's farm formed a swirling vortex in the sky, its ethereal glow visible for miles. Amelia Thorne, Sheriff Matt Cooper, Dr. Eliza Chen, and Lyra stood at the edge of the newly formed crater, their faces illuminated by the soft blue radiance emanating from within. At the center, hovering just above the ground, was an object that defied conventional description. The cosmic codex. Lyra breathed, her starlight hair floating as if in zero gravity. One piece of it, at least. The object resembled a cross between a crystal and a living organism. It pulsed with internal light, and symbols etched on its surface seemed to shift and change as they watched. Dr. Chen's scientific curiosity overtook her awe. It's rewriting reality on a quantum level. The implications are staggering. Yeah, well, let's hope it can rewrite us a victory, Matt grumbled, eyeing the sky warily. In the distance, the first waves of the Void Collective's forces engaged Earth's hastily assembled defenses. Explosions lit up the horizon like premature fireworks. Amelia stepped forward, drawn by an inexplicable urge. As her hand neared the codex, tendrils of energy reached out, enveloping her arm. Amelia, Elisa cried out in alarm. But Amelia felt no pain. Instead, information flooded her mind, star charts, cosmic histories, and most importantly, the locations of the other codex pieces. I can see them, she gasped. They're scattered across the planet. One in the Amazon rainforest, another deep in the Mariana Trench, a third hidden in the ice of Antarctica, and the last is in orbit, disguised as space junk. Lyra's eyes widened. Of course, the ancient Stellarians wouldn't leave all their eggs in one basket. We need to recover all 5 pieces to activate the Codex's full power. A deafening roar interrupted them as a Void Collective dropship screamed overhead, heading straight for the energy pillar. Time's up, folks, Max shouted, drawing his sidearm for all the good it would do against alien invaders. But before the dropship could reach them, A squadron of F-22 Raptors intercepted, engaging in a dogfight that looked like something out of a sci-fi blockbuster. Amelia's phone buzzed, a secure link from the Pentagon. General Stormbreak's face appeared on the screen, her expression grim but determined. "Fawn, we're seeing similar energy signatures worldwide, matching the coordinates you just provided. I'm dispatching teams, but we need you on this. You've got a connection to this Codex thing. Can you handle a global scavenger hunt or the world's ending?" Amelia looked at her unlikely team, a small-town sheriff, a brilliant doctor, and an alien refugee turned cosmic key. She thought of her wheat farm, of the simple life she'd led just days ago. Then she thought of the entire planet, of all the ordinary people looking up at the sky in terror. "We're on it, General," she said, surprising herself with the steel in her voice. Lyra placed a hand on Amelia's shoulder, her touch sending a warm tingle through the human's body. "The Codex chose you, Amelia. You may have started as a farmer, but the universe has bigger plans for you." As if in response, the Codex fragment pulsed brightly. Tendrils of energy wrapped around Amelia and her companions, enveloping them in a cocoon of light. What's happening?" Mac asked, a rare note of panic in his gruff voice. Lyra's eyes gleamed with excitement. "The Codex is upgrading us, preparing us for the journey ahead." The light intensified, becoming blinding. Amelia felt her body changing, molecules rearranging. When the glow finally faded, they all stared at each other in shock. Mac's weathered skin now had a metallic sheen, his eyes glowing with enhanced targeting systems. Eliza's hands crackled with bioelectric energy, her mind now capable of processing information at superhuman speeds. Lyra's Stellarian form had fully stabilized, her connection to the cosmic energies stronger than ever. And Amelia could feel the pulse of the earth beneath her feet, the whisper of wheat in her mind. She had become one with the land itself, a human embodiment of Earth's life force. "Well," Max said, flexing his new metallic fingers, "this ought to even the odds a bit." A holographic map sprung to life from the Codex fragment, showing real-time movements of both Allied forces and Void Collective ships. 4 pulsing points marked the locations of the remaining Codex pieces. "The Void Collective will be after these too," Lyra warned. "We're in a race against time." Amelia nodded, a plan already forming in her transformed mind. "All right, team, we've got a planet to save and a universe to change. Mac, you're on Antarctica. Eliza, take the Mariana Trench. Lyra, you're our best bet for the orbital piece." "And you?" Eliza asked. Amelia smiled, feeling the pull of the earth, the whisper of ancient forests. "I'm headed to the Amazon. This farm girl's about to see the world." As if on cue, a sleek aircraft shimmered into existence above them, a gift from the Codex, a vehicle capable of traversing Earth and space alike. "Cosmic road trip," Mac chuckled, shaking his head. "Never thought I'd see the day." They boarded the ship, each ready to face their individual challenges. As they rose into the war-torn sky, Amelia took one last look at her wheat field, at the life she was leaving behind. "Don't worry," Lyra said softly, reading her thoughts. "Once this is over, you'll have a chance to plant seeds among the stars." The ship accelerated, leaving a trail of quantum particles in its wake. Below, the Kansas wheat fields seemed to wave goodbye, bearing witness to the beginning of an adventure that would reshape the cosmos. In the skies above, human and alien ships clashed in an apocalyptic battle, but the true key to victory lay scattered across the Earth, waiting to be united by the most unlikely team of heroes the universe had ever seen. The quantum harvest had begun, and with it, the chance to rewrite the very laws of reality itself. As their ship vanished into the quantum slipstream, a single stalk of wheat in Amelia's field began to glow, its DNA rewritten by cosmic energies. The first of a new crop that would one day spread across the stars, a testament to the indomitable spirit of life itself. The battle for Earth raged on, but the war for the soul of the universe was just beginning. Celestial Symphony. The Amazon rainforest thrummed with primordial energy, its dense canopy hiding secrets older than humanity itself. Amelia Thorne, her body now a conduit for Earth's life force, moved through the underbrush with supernatural grace. Vines parted at her touch, and exotic flowers turned to follow her passage. "I've got eyes on the temple," she whispered into her quantum-linked communicator. "You guys wouldn't believe this place." Mac's gruff voice crackled through, tinged with the howling Antarctic winds. "Try me, Fawn Girl. I'm staring at a city built by aliens under 2 miles of ice." "Children, please," Dr. Chen's voice cut in, distorted by the crushing depths of the Mariana Trench. "Some of us are trying to concentrate on not being digested by bioluminescent sea monsters." Amelia chuckled, marveling at how quickly they'd adapted to the extraordinary. Her amusement faded as she reached the temple's entrance. Massive stone doors, covered in glyphs that pulsed with the same energy as the codex fragment, stood resolutely closed. "Lyra, you got any insight on how to open this thing?" Amelia asked. Static answered her. Lyra, on her orbital mission, had been out of contact for hours. "Guys, we've lost Lyra again," Amelia reported, worry creeping into her voice. "Focus on your mission, Thorne," General Stormbreak's voice cut in. "We've got bigger problems. The Void Collective just took out our lunar defense base. Earth's last line of defense is falling." As if to emphasize the point, the sky above the Amazon lit up with distant explosions. The battle for Earth had reached even this remote sanctuary. Amelia placed her hand on the temple door, reaching out with her newfound connection to the planet. "Come on, Earth," she whispered. "Work with me here." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with a sound like continental plates shifting, the doors began to open. Amelia stumbled back as a wave of energy washed over her, carrying millennia of stored information. Inside the temple, a sight awaited that defied description. The chamber seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once, its geometry impossible and ever-shifting. At its center floated another codex fragment, this one humming with barely contained power. As Amelia approached, holographic projections sprang to life around her. She saw the history of the universe unfold, the birth of stars, the rise and fall of countless civilizations, and the eternal dance of creation and destruction. "My God," she breathed. "Amelia, what's happening?" Dr. Chen's voice crackled through. Before she could respond, a new voice boomed through the chamber, deep, resonant, and decidedly not human. "Greetings, Seeker. You stand at the precipice of cosmic truth." Amelia spun around, searching for the source. What are you?" "I am Alpha Omega, the guardian of this codex fragment. To seal it, you must prove worthy." A series of complex, multidimensional puzzles appeared in the air around her. Amelia's mind reeled at their complexity. "Oh, guys," she said into her communicator. "I could use some help here." "Little busy," Mac grunted, the sound of energy weapons discharging in the background. "Void Collective found the Ice City. It's a war zone down here." "Same topside," General Stormbreak barked. "Thorne, whatever you're doing, do it fast. We're losing this war." Amelia closed her eyes, reaching out with her enhanced senses. She could feel the pulse of the earth, the rhythm of the cosmos. The puzzles before her weren't just tests. They were representations of universal constants, the very laws that governed reality. With a deep breath, she began to solve them, her fingers dancing through the air, rearranging cosmic constants and quantum probabilities. As each puzzle clicked into place, the chamber hummed with increasing power. "Impressive," Alpha Omega's voice resonated. "But the final test remains. To wield the codex is to hold the power of creation and destruction. What would you do, Seeker? What would you destroy?" Images flashed before Amelia's eyes. Worlds remade in paradise, enemies obliterated, the very fabric of the universe reshaped to her will. The temptation was overwhelming. But in her mind's eye, Amelia saw her wheat fields back home. She remembered the simple joy of nurturing life, of being part of something greater than herself. Neither, she said firmly. Creation and destruction are part of the natural order. The Codex isn't meant to overrule that, but to bring understanding, to show us how we're all connected. The chamber fell silent. Then, slowly, Alpha Omega spoke again, its tone softer. Wisdom beyond your years, young one. The Codex is yours. The fragment floated towards Amelia, merging with her on a subatomic level. Knowledge flooded her mind, the locations of the other fragments, how to unite them, and the true nature of the threat they faced. Guys, she gasped into her communicator. The Void Collective, they're not just aliens. They're from another universe entirely. They're here to rewrite our reality, to make it match their own. Well, ain't that just peachy? Mac grumbled. How do we stop them? As if in answer, a quantum portal opened in the chamber. Through it, Amelia could see her teammates, Mac in Antarctica, Eliza in the ocean depths, and Lyra in orbit, each battling for their fragments. Together, Amelia said, stepping through the portal, we stopped them together. As she emerged in Antarctica, time seemed to slow. She saw Mac, his metallic skin reflecting the auroras above, locked in combat with Void Collective troops. With a gesture, Amelia called upon the life force of the Earth, causing the very ice to rise up and entrap the enemies. Another step, and she was deep in the Mariana Trench, the pressure no longer a concern for her enhanced body. Eliza, her hands crackling with bioelectric energy, was facing off against a monstrous, tentacled creature. Amelia reached out, communicating with the beast on a primal level, convincing it to stand down. A final step took her to orbit, where Lyra was a blur of starlight, dancing between debris and enemy ships. Amelia's presence amplified Lyra's powers, allowing her to create a quantum field that neutralized the Void ship's weapons. As the last Codex fragments were secured, Amelia brought her team back to Earth, specifically to her wheat field in Kansas, where it had all begun. The 5 Codex pieces hung in the air before them, humming with universe-altering power. Above, the Void Collective's world ship descended, ready to end the battle once and for all. So, Max said, eyeing the approaching threat, any idea how to use this thing? Amelia smiled, feeling the combined knowledge of the Codex flow through her. Oh yeah, I think it's time we gave the universe a remix. As one, the team reached out, touching the Codex fragments. Energy surged, connecting them, the wheat field, and spreading rapidly across the Earth. The cosmic symphony began to play. Every atom on the planet resonated with the melody of creation. Humans and aliens alike found themselves swept up in a song of universal understanding. The Void Collective ships, caught in the harmonic wave, began to transform. In orbit, on the ground, and deep beneath the seas, barriers broke down. The Void Collective soldiers, once bent on destruction, found themselves overwhelmed by empathy, by the sudden shocking understanding of the beauty in diversity. The wheat in Amelia's field grew and changed, each stalk becoming a unique hybrid of earth grain and alien flora, a symbol of the new universe that was blossoming around them. As the cosmic symphony reached its crescendo, a blinding light enveloped the Earth. When it faded, the world was transformed. Humans stood side by side with former Void Collective aliens, all changed by the experience, all part of a new cosmic community. Amelia, her friends by her side, looked up at the stars, no longer distant and cold, but filled with promise and connection. Well, she said, a smile playing on her lips, I guess we're going to need a bigger farm. The wheat rustled in agreement, each stalk now a testament to the power of diversity, of growth, of reaching for the stars while staying rooted in what matters. Earth had taken its place as a beacon of unity in the cosmos, And it all started with one simple choice: a farmer who chose compassion over fear, and in doing so, sowed the seeds of a whole new universe. The celestial symphony played on, its melody echoing across galaxies, inviting all who heard it to join in the grand dance of cosmic harmony.